So this is the XAUUSD analysis for Tuesday 7th of November, XAUUSD, also known as gold. So let's just have a look what happened with prices. So we're just going to grab the pen. This candle here, this very strong bearish candle, is our news candle. This is NFP. Well, in and around NFP. So what we saw some selling momentum come into the market. NFP did fall out of line with expectation, but it was an improvement from the pull from the lower than expected number last month. Now, so on Monday, the 6th, we did look poised at one point. I did expect prices to come down to the 1263 level. It did not. Instead, we did see a bit of a turnaround in the XAUUSD, and this momentum candle here, likely news related. We've seen prices come up and negate the height of the NFP drive just before the selling momentum came into the market. Now we do look poised to test 1284, which again is a major level. We have seen it hold as resistance there. As I'm doing an analysis now, it does seem that some selling momentum has come into the market as I speak, in around this 400 period moving average just before we got up to this 1284. So we'll see how far the pullback takes us, or if we do have a shallow pullback before we go on to test 1284. Now I'm just going to have a look at the other levels on the chart to get a scale on here correct. Let's see, there we are. So on this chart, we can see here, I'm looking at this 1284, looking to see prices turn around, test 1284. If we do see a breakdown, then we can target the lower end of the range, the most recent swing being all the way down at this 1267, 1266 level for a potential bounce all the way up to this 1279. Now we are coming down, so we have to look at possible levels where we might see a bounce. Now we haven't reacted to this 1279, so 1276, again a minor level. We have the 200 period moving average, and we have this most recent swing low all the way down to 1268. But overall, in light of the most recent price action we've seen here on a Monday, I was expecting prices to continue to test that level, and at that major level we'll decide whether, if we do see a breakout, have a bit of consolidation before we move on to this 1295, or whether we do see a breakdown from the level. And if we do see a breakdown, again we'll be targeting our most recent swing lows in around this actually it's 1268. Actually 1268 seems to be the level. So if you look on the left of those charts, we've just had some support there for we had a bounce of 1279, and again we've briefly broke below this 1268 level, but we have held it and we've come pretty close to this 1284. So we're looking for prices possibly to go up to this 1284, unless we do get a major turnaround, see a few momentum candles indicating that we're look poised to test 1268, and below 1268 we've got this major level at 1263 before we see a potential bounce in prices. So to the upside, again, if we do break above 12, let's just get this, let's mention level above. So if we do break above 1284, we'll be looking at 1296. Again, 1296 is just a weekly pivot, so may not have much of a reaction around there, but we has held those resistance in the past. 1296 for a potential trade back down to this 1284. Now to the downside, again, we've got a very strong level of 1263, but we might stall just before 1263, as we've stalled here at 1268. Previously mentioned in the video yesterday. So 1268, we'll see how price, if we do get a reaction from 1268 for price to go back up, or 1265, the very next major level. Now if we break down from 1263, we'll be looking at 1243 for another potential level for prices to bounce. Don't expect price to get down to 1243 on Tuesday the 7th, but it's a level we have to keep in mind, as well as 1295. So we're just going to have a look at the higher time frames. I'm just going to go into the daily chart. Let's see where we are on the daily chart. On the daily chart, it is getting quite messy on the daily chart. We can see there's the degree of indecisiveness in the market. The market isn't really market's searching for direction, as we can see here. Got a bottom end of the range at around at 1263 to 1268. and we've also got the top of the range in around at 1279. We've had a brief test of 1284. 1279 appears to be the range, so we're operating within a range at the moment. It seems like the market is waiting for a fundamental catalyst to break out either way, either to the upside or the downside. Now, to the downside, we have got support in around at 1263, as previously mentioned. As we can see, a lot of buying momentum came in just as prices broke below the 1263 there. Prices went as low as the 400 period moving average here in black. It went as low as 1260, so we could potentially see a breach of 1263 all the way down to 1260, where we did see some strong momentum buying all the way back up to the major level of 1305 all the way there. So we did have a strong close to Monday, pretty much near to the highs. We do look poised for a test of 1284. Then we'll see how prices react after which we'll be looking at 1296 essentially and 1304 if we do get a turnaround from where we are at present. But if we do see a breakdown and we negate the bullishness from Monday's candle, again, we've already mentioned levels 1263. We've also got 200 period average here on the charts, pretty close by as well. I think it's at 1259, is it? I'm just going to have a brief look. 1260. Oh, it says 1262, so it's pretty close to 1263 level. So we could use 1263 as a reference point. To the downside, again, we've got 1243. But before we get all the way down there, we've got this swing low just here, and we've got this red triangle. Let's just see where that is. Just bear with me a second here. That's all the way down at 1251. So let's just say 1250. So potentially before we get to 1243, we've got 1250 in around there, where we could potentially see a bounce in price back up to that 1263 level. Let's just have a look at the overall view of this market on this daily time frame. So overall, we've got our highs up there at 1257. We've got a lower high at 1305. So we do look poised to head downwards. But the most recent trend as well, we have had a pretty much a double bottom at present. If this bullish candle holds at 1263, so we've got a high there and we've got a double bottom there. So we do look poised to test 1305 if we do get continuation and this bullish candle from Monday is not negated by price action this week. So move up to 1305, we will definitely be within a range then, as we would have had two tests. If we do see a pullback from there, we'll see a breakout of the range based possibly on the Federal Reserve interest rate decision and subsequent policy statements. If the market does interpret it as being somewhat hawkish, we might see a breakdown of prices, possibly down to 1250 and possibly 1243 comes into focus. But again, we might see a counter move like similar to the Bank of England. So it might be a dovish rate hike, and we may see the XAUUSD strengthen all the way up to 1305, beyond which we're looking at 1320. But overall, we are still operating within the range, lower end of the range 1263, upper end of the range 1305. So we're looking for potential buying opportunities around this 1263 level and selling opportunities near this 1305 level, and beyond levels beyond which is 1320. But I can't anticipate 1320 coming into focus anytime soon. So we'll just have a look at the weekly time frame before we just wrap up here. So we're going over to the weekly time frame, and again, just grab the pen. We had a bit of a consolidation in and around here before we had a breakout to the upside. We've sold off from the 400 period moving average. And again, we've had some strong selling momentum coming all the way down to this 1263. We've had a brief move up to 1305, but again, more strong selling momentum all the way back down to 1263. So far this week, we are in bullish territory. Well, the week is only it's just about a day old, essentially. Sunday and a day. So it's just over a day old. So we are still in bullish territory. Pretty similar to last week. So we'll have to see how this week closes. Whether we are able to successfully navigate 1284 and close above 1284 and above last week's highs. Let's just have a quick look what last week's highs were on this inverted hammer. Let's have a look. Last week's highs were at 1283.97, so it's pretty much a very strong level of 1284. So let's see if we can get above 1284, or if we do see continued selling momentum as we've seen on the execution time frame, on the hourly time frame. If we do see selling momentum to bring us all the way back down from this 12, well, pretty close to 1284, because we're at 1282 before we turned around, before we see selling momentum take us back down to the lower end of the range. So that should wrap up the XAUUSD analysis. So before I go, LCS, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.